Ever thought about how many folks roamed the earth before you were a twinkle in your parents' eyes? Let's take a stroll down memory lane back to the year 1940. The world was a bit roomier back then, with a modest population of just 2.3 billion. That's right, billion with a B. Feels like a quaint garden party compared to today's bustling crowd, doesn't it? Now imagine more space at the cinemas, less traffic on the roads, and queues. What queues? Oh, and social distancing. Well, that was just your standard Sunday stroll in the park. No pesky viruses forcing us apart, just good old-fashioned elbow room. You see, back in those days, the world was less like a packed subway car and more like a comfortable vintage Rolls-Royce. So in 1940, there were only 2.3 billion of us. Seems like a cozy little get-together, doesn't it? But then, after the war, it seems everyone got busy making babies, that is. You see, after the dust of the Second World War settled, the world witnessed a population explosion like never before. This period, fondly referred to as the baby boom, was a time when the global populace experienced a sudden and significant increase. Now imagine this. It was like the world was engaged in a different kind of contest, a baby-making competition, if you will. Nations, it seemed, were vying to see who could add the most new members to their team. The more, the merrier, they said, and boy, did they mean it. The world during the baby boom was not unlike a Black Friday sale at a discount store. Picture this, hordes of people all rushing in at the same time, causing a bit of a squeeze. Except instead of discounted appliances, the world was filling up with bouncing baby boys and giggling baby girls. During this time, maternity wards were busier than a beehive, and the sound of newborn cries was as common as birdsong at dawn. It was a fascinating, albeit crowded, time to be alive. And the results of this baby bonanza, well, let's just say it was quite the population party. From a modest 2.3 billion, we ballooned to a whopping 7.8 billion. Quite a leap, wouldn't you say? Well, that's the baby boom phenomenon for you. Fascinating, isn't it? But folks, it seems we're slowing down on the baby-making business. As if the world collectively breathed a sigh of relief and said, "All right, we've done our bit. Time to give Mother Earth a breather." It seems that we've all become a little more conscious of our personal space, so much so that we're even reducing our own numbers. Now, isn't that a twist? After the whirlwind of the baby boom, we've hit the brakes and the population growth is slowing down. It's like we've all become mindful of our carbon footprints, and the first step appears to be fewer footprints. In the days of yore, a family with fewer than half a dozen kids was a rarity. Today you mention more than 2 and eyebrows shoot up faster than a rocket to Mars. "You're planning on having how many?" they'd ask, as if you've announced plans to single-handedly repopulate the planet. We've become so focused on our careers, our travels and our avocado toasts that the idea of changing diapers and midnight feeds seems, how shall we put it, a tad inconvenient. And let's not forget, we're living in a world where we're more connected than ever. We're virtually meeting, dating, even getting married. It's as if we've decided that we can maintain social distancing even in our personal lives. So what's the impact of this sudden slowdown in the baby production line? Well, it means we're seeing a shift in our population structure. It's like watching a pyramid turn into a skyscraper with more adults than children and more elderly than young. But hold on to your hats, folks. This doesn't necessarily mean we're heading for a population crash. It's more of a gentle deceleration, a shift back to the kind of growth rates we saw in the days before the war. So it seems we're heading back to our pre-war numbers, or are we? Stay tuned for our next video where we discuss if we're really going back to normal, or if this is just the calm before another baby storm.